For news, views, and entertainment, stay tuned to Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1, simply the best.
From New Englandville studio, good morning and welcome to the first edition of the program Good Morning Salone for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today on Monday, November 11, 2019. Where they bring you this edition of the program Good Morning Salone. Musa Eskamara na minim.
And Mina Mebel Kaba, good morning. Inside this edition of the program Good Morning Salone, as the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusu Safadongo lay the 2020 budget na Parliament, the acting opposition leader for the APC party na Parliament, Honorable Ibrahim Ben Kabo, don't call on the Ministry of Finance for make sure say Ministry departments and agency them implement what they inside the budget. The Chief Security Officer for the National Stadium, Saido Jallo, say from Monday, November 11 to Wednesday, November 13, the management and stadium go lock the stadium for sake of the closed door game where Iselio Star go get for play with Luceto inside on Wednesday, October 13. And inside the program this morning, Radio Democracy will continue for looking inside President being cabinet reshuffle. Also, the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Rahman Suare, go can talk about different change them will happen at the President in cabinet.
Well, this and plenty other stories them day na the program for you, plus some patients them we admit na the Lumley Hospital. Don't allege say na the Minister of Lands, Dr. Dennis Sandi, and some Sujaman them been go beat them na the land na Levuma Beach Road. We make them admit na this hospital. And work about safe day inside the program for you. Members say they listen we live on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by Africell. The program na Good Morning Salone. You can be part of them by way you can send text message to the number 0779819181. 0779819181 are the number for sending text message and be part of the program Good Morning Salone.
The first issue we look at in the program this morning are also the Executive Director for Youth and Child Advocacy Network, Yakan, Hassan Fuad Kanu, don't call on the consultants where they develop the National Youth Policy for ensure say them put gender issue them before the review process where then they develop the National Youth Policy for make women themselves go begin involved in the country development. Hassan Fuad Kanu talk about this, where the Youth and Child Advocacy Network go engage young people them where come out from different parts of the country. Also, then be they talk about how the National Youth Policy for cater for women them and a salon. It talk more inside this meeting. Also, we reporter Cheno Jalobinde and Gona reports.
Well, we do what we call a Youth Accountability Forum. The Youth Accountability Forum, this is the second Youth Accountability Forum we are kind of all inside 2009. The first one will be all, we'll talk about the issues that we have about young people and education. And this Accountability Forum, we want to look primarily on the issue of the next National Youth Policy. Because if people remember, some few months ago, the Ministry of Youth, they launched the National Youth Policy Review. And so when we sit down as Yakan, we and we partner them, Oxfam Sierra Leone, we look at the youth policy, and one of the things that we observe now that the issue of gender prioritization and gender mainstreaming is not to show out at the last youth policy. So we decide for call young people them, young women them, and for let we all come and let we discuss how issues of young woman them and the issue around gender will be prioritized. So now we talk now. The theme for this particular Youth Accountability Forum now creating space for gender issues in the next National Youth Policy for Sierra Leone. We want to create space for gender issues in every aspect.
So how will come about for this?
Well, basically, the Yakan, they implement a project with Oxfam, and inside that project, they will call the Sahel Project. We get Education for Coalition, we get Dendebe within Goinadugu, and we get ANFEC, we also then Akono. We all come around around and say, let we all get a particular point where in all we sit down, we discuss common issues then. And one of the issues that we will discuss is the issue around gender in youth and development. So come around.
How sensitive you can be in terms of gender?
Well, you can. We so get attention for gender issue that everything we do, we look at how much man, how much woman they participate, and how we go forget a gender equality in the process then.
So now along with this dialogue with different stakeholders, now the dialogue they carry on. After today, what's the next step coming on for?
We want to share this report we'll get for within the young people and say, and within other youth organizations and they talk, within the ministry, everything that the feedback we then give. First with the Ministry of Youth. And that particular report say when we share with the Ministry of Youth, we also follow up within the Ministry of Youth how they go able to ensure that they prioritize and create the space we ask for inside the process when they review this current national youth policy.
I don't get dialogue with the Ministry of Youth, the consultants. I don't get any dialogue for ensuring they involved.
The consultants just the starting work, and because it's just the starting work, we now forget the views of people and know what they think. And we hope say when the time reach for the consultant acts with different organizations then for them present position paper on the next national youth policy. We hope say them will do a fast one and we'll give you enough time because let them not say we say present position paper in 1 week. After 1 week then go launch. We hope say them will give you like a 2 or 3 months for them we all come up with a position paper then. So we get issue around education, we get issue around employment, we get issue around gender issue. All everybody go for put same idea then together.
In terms of promoting gender equality, how this is important?
This is very important, especially for a country where about 55% of the youth population now women them. If we're not able to strengthen the one in then it means to say the next generation of adults where they come, then we'll get boku adults when are illiterate, adults when they work. So we feel to say the women them they need to get their attention. And if we want to develop Sierra Leone, we need to strengthen this particular.
If they rate the Ministry of Youth in a scale of 10, what do you think say and think of women?
Well, then they,
terms of employment,
then they do very bad. For example, the last youth policy, we don't see no area outside in them talk on how they want to work with the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs. We got for do more gender issues. Then you understand? We see say the bearing not too tight. We can't do them. They work with gender ministry. And if you really look at the executive of the Ministry of Youth, most of the position them would they now man them occupy and they not get better woman them. And the one they would they now woman now junior position them hold. And so we feel to say the sense of gender mainstreaming says if they don't then certainly for build them up, for let them up to the game for promote woman them.
So this dialogue session will organize now with some people no more.
When this dialogue session cannot participate, Koinadugu and Falaba they say participate, Western area, urban and Western area rural and representatives say participate.
At the end of the day, what can they achieve after this conference?
After this particular one, we hope also we will present a report to the ministry, and after that, we hope the ministry will call for presenting position paper. We feel to say by next year we'll go for do this. I call on the consultants for make a not follow waiting on the last youth policy where then just give lip service to gender. Now just one green page and talk about gender, and the one page not reach full up when talk about gender. We ask them for let it prioritize gender issue them.
Well, that's Hassan Fawad Kanu, we na the executive director. Sorry, for Yakan. They talk on that interview day with Cherno Jallo.
The program Good Morning Salone they continue, and we continue for look at more issue inside the program Good Morning Salone. Two people na the Lumley Hospital don't allege say na the Ministry of Lands officials them being give order for beat them for the land around Levuman at the Godrich community. The Director of Lands and Survey Tamba Dauda don't deny this and say them people are build na government land and legal one. For more on this, we join Wanenka Hoja.
The 1991 Salone Constitution, the Devolution and Estate Act 2007, and the Salone Draft National Policy inside 2014 show the way them how for address the plenty challenge them where people they get per land business and the process where people they take for develop government land them. But still, concern about fet per land business now the country don't they increase. Inside the Millennium Challenge Corporation 2019 report show say one challenge where the country gets and per the thing them where the country fail per the MCC scorecard na per land business. Where the show say land case them don't be concerned to plenty people. The Levuma Beach Road around Godrich area. Now one area where fet don dey be this BNTM per land business. Before the land case fet them start na this community. This community, over the past 10 years, don't be deprived community, where plenty people be involved by illegal sand mining, where we make the land don't be prone to disaster. This reason make the chairman at this Levuma Beach Godrich Road say for solve the problem them where this community be don't they get, make them be form committee for find permanent solution for this community.
This development we them people are undertake now. It started some 6 years back with the government of Sierra Leone, collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, NPPA, ONS, then with Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, SLRE, with CSC. This came about as a result of this massive illegal sand mining where they take place in this community. The then government may decide to let we hold a meeting. In that meeting, we get 3-point resolution. One, now for transform Levuma Beach to a touristic destination. So now this will be on the work with this steering committee will be created with all stakeholders they work also now to work towards this program here. So a development program now the on where the ministry will don't tell we say let we allocate portions to interested developers, of which Sierra Walton are one of the people there. We don't start in own project, you know. As they go ongoing now, we see the minister yesterday. He can't threaten say he will cause my now if he can't the next morning and this development will take place. And indeed the next morning he come. Can bring a group of military soldiers them and we unleash violence now and beat people them, beat this woman, Sierra Walter, a man, even the contractor, and send the boys and running from every direction. Destroy even the signboard where the Ministry of Tourism put here, where they indicate say they're in the community, then they're on this project, you know, for let we develop this place. But what really pissed me off now that the minister said the ASAN in Akuman, and that the minister said the open amount the cost, Mami cost, that one they really put me off.
Even though the chairman say then we get authorization for give plenty people them land na this community, for build structure them we tourist friendly, we make one for the people them, we be benefit from the land here na Sierra Walter, when na one woman we come out Germany for can set up beach bar na this community. And he say if we don't start for put structure them in place for this project, but say by surprise Monday October 4, the Minister of Lands and some sojaman them become broke some property them and beat people them na this land.
We don't start this some months ago. We've been apply for a place na Aberdeen. We go tourist board, we go tourism ministry. Then tell we say direct place no dey. So we apply for Levuma Beach na then advise we Mr. Mohamed Jallo and Mr. Woody tourist board. So we apply. The same side we apply again for Levuma Beach. Then give we the okay. But Mr. Jallo say we need for meet the community head now Levuma Beach because now then they in charge and then launch this place here. They know about this project. So then directive for to chief. Now then we all cancel the chairman. Then give we the form. Everything we fill the form. Then send somebody from tourist board for plots the place one still there from here to there, then give it the measurements, show we start with Kimbil. We dey it now I get the information say then they vandalize here. We don't now come the Minister of Lands. Then they can beat people there we workman then. Now one soldier man we old chain, iron chain. He can't what me do if na video me the video. I say no, pull the phone at me and push me and the motor car. I say no, not to him. Then he draw me bag with the money inside 9,000 euros, 100 euro paper.
With this way be happen, 2 man them be admit na Lumley Hospital, where alleged say na the beat where the Minister of Lands and his sojaman them be beat them, make they end up na the hospital, where this be make a go na Lumley Hospital for talk to them people yeah.
Them beat me, see the wound, them beat me back all the wound, then kick me and put me chest to chest. Yesterday morning, the clients give me 5 million advance for me workman. Then I hang up on the nail for the stick. Then take me back. They can take me papa. I was so then me workman. They all work out with them backs. Then wearing the card for work. Then go with all.
I didn't serious pains. They hit me with guns, blood all over me clothes.
We then concern ya, make Abi go to Tamba Dauda, when at the head of Survey and Lands Division, for ask him if he be aware say the Minister of Tourism be authorize them people here for use the lania.
So this particular area where we talk about na level manner, we have never designated that area for touristic purpose. Then just go somebody from the Ministry of Tourism, just go cut the place they give them. Where the Ministry of Lands has never been consulted on that.
With them beating allegation, yeah, Tamba Dauda say the soldier man them be try for protect the minister.
We go there, the minister they try for stop them, say una common and if I will meet some of them on. One fellow they refuse for one, it's up there, they argue the minister. The minister say, don't argue with me, push the minister hand. So the security then get for come for protect the minister.
So then beat them?
Well, if instead of beat her and defending the minister, if you get yourself hurt, you know go say them beat you.
So many people them they in a hospital where they get hurt. They say the minister in soldier then beats them.
Make I tell you, now one person me no say, challenge the minister, where the minister in security them, and then can't try for get them off the minister.
The director same so say the ministry no be take no property them. Now them people they are there and them. For real democracy, me na waniga oja.
The program is still listening to Good Morning Salone, where they can take from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We will continue with the program Good Morning Salone. And now we look at other issues of the program. Also, the Chief Security Officer for the National Stadium, Saidu Jallo, say from Monday, November 11 to Wednesday, November 13 this year, the stadium management go lock the stadium for sake of the closed door game where Salone get for play with Lesotho national team. We go for be on Wednesday, November 13 this year. Well, for more on this, Musa S. Kamarago reports.
For Cisse Salone go by FIFA suspension, we say Salone for play behind closed door. We mean say no supporter no for watch the Salone against Lesotho Nations Cup qualifying game. We go be Wednesday 13th November this year na the National Stadium. The Chief Security Officer for the National Stadium, Saidu Jallo, say starting Monday, November 10, no person no go get access to the stadium.
If you look safe now, padlock safe I will not answer. Sunday 12 o'clock, as the bell in at 12 o'clock, don't lock. Nobody will need allow for cancer unless with the team they can't train, we'll pay for them. And we make an appeal to the SLFA and the national team. With the team they can't train and knock out all my out in Mutuka, again Batman behind and we no go take it on the. Then they all in a boss, we no say that them. Any player walk out Batman, you no go inside the stadium. From the main gate to the scream the boss, only the player and for daily. For make sure say and chef on and not for pass for cancer. Entry also they lead you to the main bowl. Begin from the side seat gates, the swimming pool gates, the cemetery gates, all the lock. Well, we'll get back up, but we do we own part first, the backup will come. But we will make sure say 12 o'clock, as the bell ring 12 o'clock Sunday morning. We will lock the stadium for the general public.
This strategy, according to Saidu Jallo, the stadium management together with the Minister of Sport, don't they on for prevent Salone from FIFA suspension or ban, but to that them qualify for dinner the National Stadium during this game. Chris Kamara, now the General Secretary for the Salone Football Association, he read the instruction where the Confederation of African Football, CAF, give the FA, but to that them for dinner the stadium for the Salone Lesotho game.
Reference to FIFA's decision imposed on the Sierra Leone FA to play behind closed doors, please find below the parties allowed to access the stadium. 1. Players of the two teams. 2. Officials of the two teams who will be seated in the technical area and in the dressing rooms during the match. 3. 20 ball boys. 4. 10 members of the executive committee of each team as part of the official delegation. Media officers, photographers, journalists, etc. of the two teams who are only accredited in condition to their number do not exceed the usual number of the media officers present in similar games. So there has been a restriction on media. If you are not a media officer of the Lesotho national team or the Sierra Leone national team, I am very sorry. You will not be allowed in the stadium. TV crew will have to be allowed in the stadium. The last but not the least, no other spectator are allowed in the stadium.
People remember say this action of FIFA now because of the match commissioner report and other team them on the Salone Liberia game we play this Bienten at the National Stadium. We say Salone supporters them been misbehaved during this game. We make FIFA say Salone for play one game we supported them not for watch live na the National Stadium and find the SLFA $50,000 this Wednesday game according to Chris Kamara. CAF no go only depend on the match commissioner reports, but serve them as organization get to follow the game from them base.
It is a match that is going to not only play behind closed doors, but it's going to be a high surveillance match for the media to understand. That is what is referred to a high surveillance match. What is that? That is the match that requires members of the FIFA media and marketing department to go for work on that day and monitor activities in that particular venue. No minister, no deputy minister, no members of parliament, nobody will be allowed to watch the match. Matches played under high surveillance attracts very huge sanction. Should we fail in any infraction during the governance of this game, please note that we'll be left with no option. FIFA has the authority in 24 hours to ban Sierra Leone from participating in any competition.
Leone Stars they train now ahead of the game on Wednesday as the FA be don put list of foreign base player them we include Kai Kamara and the captain Umaru Zengele Bangura. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa S. Kamara.
The program Good Morning Salone they continue and they continue for look at more issue inside the program. For make people they know about all government activity them and get correct information on service delivery. The Deputy Minister of Political and Public Affairs, Amara Kalandon, say they don't begin put things in place for citizens platform through digitalization. We say this system now for create the platform between the public and government. We say people go get access for nobody different work them with government they do. As he say, this digitalization cost over $200,000. Amara Kalon explained more to Saptiu Kalon inside this interview.
Yeah, well, one of the dreams of the president is for we digitalize the entire nation so that at the end of the day we will reduce corruption. We will make sure that we provide a platform for the citizens to interact and become inclusive. And in this 21st century, if you want for make sure say you move with the tides of times, then you get for go science, you get for go technology, you get for go innovation. So as a ministry, we say believe say as we get the responsibility for create a public affairs and political space, a new one, we need for let we say go digital because majority of the young people there now, then they're on Android phones and they're connected to the internet and they're on mobile phones, even with people in the villages. So basically now, for me get people in for be inclusive, you get for make sure so you go digital. Being that we try for create a new public and political space, we need for establish a digital system we then call a citizen platform. Now the citizen platform is meant for a situation wherein you have the citizen and the government and they interact on a common platform, a digital system, a digital platform, so that the government able provide the relevant and timely information for the citizen, and the citizen said able respond and in the form of their perception and opinions to then information, and the government go able to analyze the data and see whether the service delivery wouldn't they do is relevant to the people or not.
So looking at that aspect there, or one of the stages we I don't consider the thing the way it take for layer a digitalization system, the also people will get access for interacting government, come up with ideas on issues them we get for those service delivery.
Yeah, well, fortunately we get the DSTI,
okay,
where the government, the Department for Science, Technology and Innovation, we house na State House, and we see the formation that take place in the nation in terms of that particular institution. So we serve as a ministry, we have the responsibility for toe the line. And for that we toe the line, we get for look, we make sure say we take into consideration certainly. One, we find out say now the internet connectivity, we get over 1.something million people who are connected to the internet when they use Android phones. And most of these people are young people. And the young people now then they play the central role in politics and public affairs. We come for election at the end of the day. We come for service delivery at the end of the day. We come as the labor force at the end of the day. So if you want for them where you really engage them and include them, that we need for go digital and follow the system.
So why you think say that's not the best idea for like government know with not the burning issues or with not the thing that would affect people, so then go fair we come up with solution to some of the issues in there?
You know, you already said the security of a state depends on the number of information and the importance of the information where they give out to citizens. Where you get a country wherein the citizens are not well informed, then there is high tendency for say then they go in search of the information. The information probably when they get not going to be true. At the end of the day, they create chaos in the state. As we see now on the social media, you get a lot of information on one particular thing we not the meet. So that they affect the security of the state, it affects social cohesion, it affects the reconciliation. So we believe strongly say with the setting of this system, it will help we for provide those information from the people then. You know, there are the traditional way now for take loudspeaker, go to them villages there or go to them town, them market then talk. But at the end of the day, when the information go, you not get to say go back if you not get and correct for that check. But if you use digital system, if you not get it, you can come back at any time to the same platform, and if you don't understand, you can go back and read through that you understand the information.
So how them platform you get for being created, how it get for talic, how people go to pass this information, how the interaction get for between government and the people.
Yeah, a web-based system. Yeah, and this web-based system, we already finalized the website, and what done the website, they establish different portal systems, a portal platform at the website. So, for example, if one look about corruptions, citizens then go report corruptions, or how then say go able to give them your opinion about what in the happen in the corruption sector. We want to look at the issue of the free quality education. While the government, the Minister of Education, they do their own, we as a minister also, we want to look at waiting at the people then your opinion.
That two issues in the way, make sure the Anti-Corruption Commission also get your website or link where people they report corruption practice or anything they suspect. Why una want to do something where other institution or agency already done?
We go just beyond the reporting of, we not look at the reporting of the corruption.
Okay.
We look at how people then perceive the fight against corruption and waiting at their own contribution. So for example, there this MCC score we don't come out. Yeah, we how people in the perceive, which are people in your opinion.
So taking it to the people in all levels.
Exactly. Okay. So once you get that system, you can able to take the analysis of the report of the MCC you put on there. They allow people then for let them discuss. You open a blog system, so people then they discuss. Everybody they can at the platform give you your opinion. So they analyze then data then they and able to understand how people they own thinking they about the score where they get to the MCC. What are they your understanding about it?
So in terms of putting this digitalization together for let big operator at the ministry, where according to you, this now for make different issues them on political issues, governance and other one, then people could be able to communicate through different government sector them. What think for involved in terms of cost?
One, technology expensive. One. As a ministry, we still try for we start out with an inception. We look at where we first of all we already get the platform. If you go around the ministry now, you go see what they can do all with internet connectivity, we rewire with internet connectivity. Now what do we need now for that we get the website. This they go there between $200,000 to $300,000. We believe say able start the initial step for that we able fix this thing together. But very much important in this digital system are the fact that this now a system we are in. We already get people connected to data systems. So the same way they go to WhatsApp, they go to Twitter, they go to Facebook. Now so you get for going to the website again.
So looking at this digitalization system where the ministry they try for plan, from which you don't talk is as if we just focus on the city because when you look at people in the rural area or other parts in the suburb area, them most of them not get access to phone.
Yeah, well, I think the latest report they tell we say Sierra Leone about 50% of the population now have access to mobile, which is a very good. And
then 50% they now within outside in the
then are the whole country, then scattered across the country. What we do? There are times innovation, you know, they wait for their people then come to the doorstep of innovation. You take innovation to the doorstep of the people. My mama with the under right now, they force me now for that Android phone for I never go school. But they ask for Android phone now because what you want to one go WhatsApp and all that thing there. So meaning the innovation, the force people them, we take the innovation to the doorstep of the people. They have no alternative, but people then they learn the innovation. So now we say one do because the entire world don't go digital. Not the other partner the world now. You know the same money now people in hand. But we take the whole money then now the rope my pan and do everything. So the same thing we say one to take the innovation or technology to the doorstep of the people and you learn the people and the people then they cope up with the system and follow up the trend.
So looking at the issue of tribalism, where it can happen between different people with the different tribes, the issue then they can so severe. You think say this new system on one how it go be solved through that? You think say that possible means?
Well, we in other another part of the digital system, we did in talk with the UN, United Nations Board in Salone, and we get a company called SEED Seed, where they found a data analytical system, what they call SCORE, what they call Social Cohesion and Reconciliation Index. This they trying to measure how the country they relate in terms of reconciliation and social cohesion. They look at key indicators, for example, political tribalism. They look at about electoral violence and political violence. So you look at certain side of the country as the data then they come in, they able to inform you that in terms of political tribalism, you define and say a particular district or a particular chiefdom now they're more prominent. By
Deputy Minister of Political and Public Affairs Amara Kalonde talk inside an interview with Sapti Kalon for Seka the Citizens platform through digitalization we government they put together now for give information to the public about government activity them. The program Good Morning Salone they continue. We come back after this break.
Salone Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile App, you can able for use Salone Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Ed Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salone Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salone Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
The program is still a listen to now Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. As we said earlier, today we can continue for a look at the reshuffle where the president been doing in cabinet last Wednesday. Also, we see then give position to different people. The president so give the press release we come out state house show say the president so don't get authority for let we get new ministries, them deputy ministers they don't they and other things where they happen in the cabinet, and we tell us say for can help we look into this. We go get the Minister of Information and Communication Mohamed Rahman Sware where they can explain to one of the listeners them exactly waiting exactly the press release will be come out state house where show the cabinet reshuffle waiting it mean to Salone people. Good morning and welcome to the program, sir.
Morning, Mabel. Family on the morning.
Well, if people can remember early this year inside May, the president be doing forced cabinet reshuffle. Also, been changed different people them again at different ministries them and bring come new people them for play for work now in cabinet. And we see the second cabinet reshuffle under the BU administration be happen last week Wednesday, when have been the 7th of November. Let we firstly just know first why the president decide for do in cabinet reshuffle last week.
First, I tell God thank you. Say I continue for enjoy His Excellency the President in trust and confidence for doing work. So I mean that's a new lease of life. I get for rededicate and recommit myself to him, like at all times. His Excellency decide for reshuffle. One, let we not say constitutionally in right for hire and fire. So. But I don't say more importantly, the user rights no more because you want for use power, you want for use it. Normally, it take them decisions and they for recalibrate the cabinet, for invigorate and for able address current and emerging situations. Then now I make they take that decision they for re-engineer the cabinet.
Re-engineering the cabinet. What's the reason we can make the president look and see this certain person for Komoya go yonder or not come again? Waiting at the reason.
First, I don't say a one for re-energize the cabinet, a one for reinvigorate, right? A one for make a lot more agile.
Based
now that
on
normally
waiting,
they happen.
on
Where you look football team itself.
Based on
where
performance.
Team they play, you watch first half, right? The coach, they and it's okay, a lot of strength and I see a lot of potential for a lot of score, and that's the kind of thing that happens. So a lot of factors they come in, per football field stuff, Not to say now ball no more, you know, they keep, then they look at fitness and they look at boku kind of thing.
So in this
some
case,
day then they not to this and football, so the coach can use in good judgment for.
So in this case, waiting the president look at.
Well, the president not to tell nobody, now prerogative for hire and fire. But right thinking people then for no see no more, right? And they get them considerations and they for invigorate the cabinet, for re-energizer, for give renewed vim, vigor and vitality. Now that's normally they make the president re-engineer the cabinet.
So looking at this cabinet reshuffle, 2 in a year, we the time them very close. Somebody go like for no waiting giddy cause for this change. Is it that the president they look at things are not working as expected, or the people who put the things in the perform?
I don't want to make any imputations here, but I know say the president want for re-energize the cabinet. They want for re-energize the cabinet. They want for reinvigorate them, right? They want for achieve a lot more, right? In a hurry, he's in a hurry. I mean, we've been induct we appoint with for the very first time. It not say, ladies and gentlemen, this country has suffered for far too long. Let us be that group of men and women who will help save her, right? So he's on a mission to change the narrative, to change the trajectory for make Salone better for where we begin them.
The last reshuffle where the president's been doing, I've been inside me and I've been the very first one. The biggest change that maybe happened that same day. Okay. I've been the Ministry of Works, Foreign Affairs, Local Governments, and the Ministry of Mines. Now this new one we don't come out. Now who side the president pay attention?
Well, the president pay attention to the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. Pay attention to the Ministry of Agriculture. Pay attention to the Ministry of Water Resources, the Ministry of Labor. You know, the ministries and they're affected directly. Yeah.
All right, we'll start to look at the Ministry of Education where you first talk about. We see the minister will be there, they don't come out, they don't go to other ministry now, and Ministry of Education as it is now one of the biggest projects under the government, the BO administration. Yep. We talk of the free quality education and other things where they try for support to improve on the educational sector. We see don't put Dr. Sengedi now and Timbo we been there, don't come out, they don't go to other ministry. Yep. This particular change at this time, where the free quality education they go on, so they still roll out. This change where the president don't make so is significant when you look at the state of education at Salone and the person where he don't bring this so now in terms of matching and fitting na certain ministries.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the president is a very, very meticulous person. Not a person where they do emotional thing, knee-jerk reactions. The president don't commit for leave behind a digitally inclusive, knowledge-based Sierra Leone. Digitalization, na the weapon, na the thing where you need for competing at this century. It always the talk says Sierra Leone don't miss out on 3 major industrial revolutions. The 4th one, when at digitalization, we forget to fair share. In fact, we not just be consumers, we for be key players in that process. So a one for left behind an inclusive digital society, and when you look at the people that who they produce from a school system, we own dissertation, for example, the left college. One man in a maths department, they say, hey, that part in Kamuzu, and say that's a bit type, not type or typer. But others, no student knows a bit type back there. So we want for begin imbibe the values of them values and of a digital economy. For let people able to function effectively in a digital, in an inclusive digital economy. Nada make Dr. Divisenge kind of Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, so that we go do this thing where they say catch them young. You catch them young, you begin imbibing in school going peoples right through by the time they graduate from like a senior high school or other thing, then go down able to do a lot of things where they make them competitive citizens in a digital economy. I think that one is very important.
Experience of excuse me. Experience of the new minister for basic and senior secondary education. Now one way people on the question for the very first time he be a minister and then put you in a very big ministry like that. Yeah. The experience now one way people on the question plenty.
Yes, I respect that because Mr. don't get experience in various things, but before they appoint one of them various things, and then can they say, hey, that man don't get experience and I don't make this before. I don't think we are faring on badly at all with modesty and humility, right? So, the best way for ride bicycle now for ride bicycle, for practice bicycle. David, hugely educated, hugely talented, and you get to them call in adult learning transferable skills. You understand? The same way they do now, Mabel, where they manage people there, now 98.1. If you find yourself another job where require leadership and managerial skills, you transfer them skill there also, right? This is not morbid anatomy. You know, so skills and transferable. So I think Sir David, well suited, very well placed, and it get the right, what have you, for deliver on the president's flagship project. That is not a decision the president takes lightly. Anybody he puts there, you must be able to fire all your cylinders, and I'm sure David will.
You talk about less salon left behind pan, digitalizing education and other technologies and where don't they come up now, where from what you explain make Dr. Senge don't go now the Ministry of Education, but already they serve as Chief Innovation Officer now the Office of the President. So is it that it not being enough for let the Ministry of Education lays with that particular unit say for produce what the president wants, we make it say no, you suppose for go ahead the Ministry of Education?
We're now one of the lead media outlets in the Salone, radio stations there, right? The access where you get for go interview the president, right? Not all the same, you know, like you get access to the possible way now my strategic communications advisor, for example, na State House, get more access for access information pass you. So David will now sit in cabinet, right? Able push the agenda then they. Before now, he will have it's not being a cabinet rank. Right? So that one is very important. He will have to talk to either the chief minister, forget the agenda too. But now he will sit around the table, he will make a point there, he will convince colleagues at the table and get in programs and so. So two different scenarios.
Yes, you talk about le Salone left behind pan digitalization when it comes to education. Is it on this basis where the president choose the
lab for do family and justice, Honorable Alpha Timbo, they move on to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Law notes say Honorable Alpha Timbo, na person will be known in that ministry before. He got a huge and proud trade union history. Right, as former Secretary General of the SLTU, Secretary General of the Labour Congress.
We will look at the ministries them one by one, the changes. Okay. Now with the education, we look at that. My question is that we look at David Senge, Dr. David Senge, we don't the Minister of Education, we in background and technology. And you rightly mentioned, see, one make Salungu left behind book. Technology when it comes to book learning. Is it that the purpose it come for now the ministry?
Yes, now one of the main reasons, and that already before now, nobody not able to know how the schools and they perform at all levels. Yeah, you go for go work force, you go for go do this. David will not able to work on that project as you if you're able to access the site now. You village schools, my village school now for you. If I go there now, they see how many people do well, how many teachers then get there, what's in their skills and what's in their competencies. It give you at a glance impression of the entire education landscape at a glance. So and they don't work over the period. They don't work very closely.
And that's getting the promotion.
Not so that one day no more. I mean, you the pigeonhole this thing, maybe.
No, you the explain waiting and waiting it don't do. So now that make I ask if not that's getting the promotion.
No. Now the president overall vision. Yeah, for live behind a digitally inclusive Sierra Leone. We saw with people there, including students that already graduate from school, from university, they able to function effectively and compete with their peers at home and abroad in a digitally based economy.
But when you look at the Salone education, the challenge they beyond technology alone. Plenty issues then they around the education. We somebody go say you need somebody we get that experience for fear on and ensure say president achieve that dream.
This experience I got over 20 years experience as a professional in various things I don't do at very senior levels. But this one where I can pass so would then pick me as new Minister of Information and Communications. People then say, hey, you don't get experience. But people don't talk. Experience is valuable, I agree. But they also get something called transferable skills. David has not been locked up in a house before. Right, not to host them lock up a day. He's been interacting with people. In fact, now one of the person in Nandi they do the most cross-cutting issues. They're doing diagnosis, doing digitizing processes, all linked in across ministries, departments, and agencies. So a well-positioned, right, a arm with the right experiences, the right skill sets. I mean, that does not make him self-contained. He will be working with other people. And he's reached out to me. He's going to need everybody to work with him for support and for let's succeed. And this is the president's flagship project. We will all give him the requisite support.
All right, continue for the with me at the studio. Mohamed Rahman Soare, Minister of Information and Communication. Today we continue for look at the cabinet reshuffle where the president do last Wednesday. In case you get any question or comments, for make send to 077-981-981 or gonna read the Democracy 98.1 Facebook page and drop your message. We continue with the program and it takes short commercial break.
Better don't come, better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Union Salone Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you, Union Trust Bank na Salone for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme there. We branch and they all up at na Salone. Boko no kenema, we de. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we de. Jala free town don't sa, we de. And my lengthy one, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank na Salone for me and you. Union Salone Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
The program Good Morning Salone they continue and we look at other issues under the program. Also the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusu Safa, bidongole the 2020 budget na Parliament. For make member of Parliament them go look inside this budget debate with the theme fiscal policy for job creation and human capital development. Well, for let we know exactly what may happen at Parliament where the minister been go lay the budget and some of the things that will come out inside the Musa S. Kamara go reports.
According to the Salone law, the Minister of Finance, before the start of any fiscal year, for go present the government budget to member of Parliament them for make them go debate and this now one way they call the Appropriation Act, where they talk about how government plan for use money inside the next fiscal year. This make the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusu Safa, Friday, November 8th this year, being go present this act to Parliament for the 2020 financial year.
Honorable members, the question is that the bill entitled the Appropriation Act 2020, being an act to authorize expenditure from the Consolidated Fund for the Services of Sierra Leone for the year 2020 and for other related matters, be read the first time. All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Member them of Parliament, they accept the 2020 financial statement from the Minister of Finance, where it go present to the House of Parliament for make them go debate with the theme fiscal policy for job creation and human capital development. Jacob Jusu Safa been quick for announce the government total budget for the year 2020.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the projected total budget resources for 2020 financial year processed through the Consolidated Revenue Fund will amount to 8.24 trillion, comprising domestic revenue 6.47 trillion, budget support of 1 trillion, and domestic financing 873.9 billion. The other categories of resources comprising projected loans and project grants to be disbursed by development partners to the commercial banks, and in some cases, the Bank of Salone for the financing project in various sectors are projected at 1.08 trillion. On the basis of the expected increase in economic activities and revenue mobilization measures highlighted earlier in this statement, domestic revenue is projected to increase to 6.47 trillion. Total expenditure and net lending for 2020 will amount to 9.37 trillion. Of this, recurrent expenditure will amount to 6.48 trillion. And capital expenditure net lending 2.7 trillion, 6.6% of GDP. Foreign finance capital expenditure are projected at 1.81 trillion. Domestic funded projects at 1.1 trillion.
as the projected government wage bill na over 3 trillion loans for 2020 compared to the over 2 trillion loans government projected wage bill show say dem go spend more inside the year 2020 compared to other year dem. According to Jacob Jusu Safa, na because government wan increase minimum wage from 500,000 loans to 600,000 loans, increase teacher salary by 30% starting from April next year, pull tax and travel expenses and other thing them.
The government wage bill is projected to increase to 3.17 trillion in 2020 from 2.59 trillion in 2019. The increase of 586.6 billion will cover the wage bill of the university and colleges, bringing into the payroll 5,000 teachers, 3,000 health workers, and 1,000 police officers in 2020. Further, the improvement in conditions of service of health workers, salaries of teachers will be increased by 30% to support human capital development. This will be effective April 2020. To improve the living conditions of low-income earners, the government is increasing minimum wage from 500,000 to 600,000 per month.
Youth in farming, skill training for disabled, road construction, improve electricity supply, and other things them, according to Jacob Jusu Safa, they part of government plan for the year 2020. We all this according to Honorable Ibrahim Ben Kagbo, the acting opposition leader na parliament, say promise na one thing and the implementation na other one. We in think say don't be the problem na Salone over the past year them.
Well, all we can say now is that the budget was well structured, well presented, and it raised the issues we normally one can raise, both for fiscal and monetary policies. Well, now what we wait at the implementation of this program. Because we know, say, in this country once in a while, we can see very good policies presented to the public, but at the same time, they never implement them to the satisfaction of the public.
As the focus for the 2020 budget, now fiscal consolidation for job creation and human capital development, the leader for the National Grand Coalition Party in Parliament, Honorable Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela, concerned about this.
One still begins to wonder, whether in fact there will be enough left to invest in bread and butter. We have to go deeper into these things. What is the regional distribution? How is the recruitment being done? How transparent is it? Is it just jobs for the boys? These are numbers we're hearing. How much of that has been done? How much ghost workers have been removed? Debt is increasing. He admitted that debt is increasing. When you keep the structures the same, your expenditure might be the same or in fact increase. In economics, it's not just the number now. It is the trend. That's what we watch. So in terms of expenditures, in terms of wage bill, the trend is still the same as the last 10 years. That hasn't changed.
But according to Honorable Member of Parliament for Constituency 132, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, say the 2020 budget show say government mean business for the people of Salone.
When President Bill take up, we think say it's all doom and gloom for Sierra Leone. But the time for point finger, the time for make blame game don't pass. Now the time for turn the country around and move the country forward. And the budget show a clear signs in moving the country forward. And the removal of all aviation charges today in this budget shows say President Bill ready for encourage tourism for flow of this country. The reduction in taxes. So the term don't reach for we should say job creation as per the theme of the budget, fiscal consolidation for job creation and human capital development shows say there is an intention, desperation to create jobs in all sectors. So I think overall the budget is a good budget.
As the 2020 budget get for go through different process and debates na parliament, Radio Democracy will continue for bring una update on things them will happen for SECA the 2020 budget. With support from Princess Pias for the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa S. Kamara.
The program na Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, and we still get the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohammed Rahman Soare. We would look at the cabinet reshuffle list we just come on last week, and we don't look at the education, basic education ministry. We look at another ministry the reshuffle affects. We at the Ministry of Labor, and we see the Minister of Basic Education go na the Minister from Basic Education go na the Ministry of Labor, and this ministry now one we get plenty challenge when it comes to employment and safe our work business in this country. Which change you think say this change go bring to this ministry?
The president weigh the options very keenly, weigh the take decisions. A zooming on Honorable Alpha Timbo. I've been known in another ministry before, now called Old Firewood. So I don't work in another ministry before. At the time, who labor laws there be probably best suited for the museum. They come in, it begin compliance issues there, it begin revamp some of them law, and they also set up the Social Security and Insurance Trust Scheme. That's a ADD. You know, you get a huge trade union background from SLTU, from Sierra Leone Labour Congress, you know, all institutions, and they get experience with it. So we come in, it'll begin lead the reform process of labor law, set up the industrial courts, all ends in the. So he had a lot of unfinished businesses by the time he moved on. The president's one like, can continue that one day. Particularly when you look at the budget, for example, the budget is about job creation all around, from the beaches to youth in agriculture, to living no one behind we can, to people living with disabilities, accessing skills training and getting microcredit, you know, opportunities. So you now need a situation, a Ministry of Labor, we hands on, we understand the challenges with that sector they face. I know, few close people then they talk in this here. So people then still they receive below minimum wage. Now some institutions there. Of course, when you look at the media, SSF, many media practitioners not even get paid. That is unacceptable. I've said this all the time. I'm not going to live behind that thing they say, na so be nondi. Otherwise, need no money for let me say come.
So what you say?
We work with SLAG, we work with IMC, we work with all bodies for make sure say journalists then where they pay, where they work, they get paid at least the basic minimum wage 600,000 leons now as per Wednesday's budget, as per Friday's budget. We have to change the narrative. Yep. So you need somebody who ensure them compliance. You know, then get something and call decent work. People then dignity for be upheld per work. I know some people then they never get employee rights. They not get boku in there.
So
you now get somebody who will get for calm and face them challenges.
Well, you say the ministry needs somebody who understand the challenges and some of them compliance issues. And does that mean the person who been not been fit for the job?
You know, put one on my motto. Adekunle, now one of the finest colleagues that I work with. I'll miss him very much in cabinet. He is very ebullient. He is very great. He'll be educated. He will do our country proud in any role. I can bet my everything on that. Trust that.
Okay, we look at the issue of minimum wage. You rightly mentioned, you pick on the media, but we look at the security sector. Some security agents, them we still pay workman them 300,000, 400,000 leons. And we get some organization we say person they work casual for 10, 15 years.
That's nonsense. Nobody know for work casual for 10 years.
It is happening.
The law they basically say boku collect. You know, my background is saying na HR and OD person, organizational development. If you keep somebody, you can renew them 3 months contract twice, make them 6 months. When you begin make casual a permanent feature of your employment, that means you want that person in a permanent position. You should be able to give that person a permanent position. Anybody will do that. No rationalization or for that.
But it happen.
I understand there are seasonal employments, you know, like airport. So where December will come, you will need additional casual hands. But that is just for the season. But it's not going to become a permanent feature of a payroll. That means something is wrong. So I know say issues like this, the one already do. I have bad news for them. We are going to be tackling these issues head on.
So you think that this change can able tackling issues then the
well,
way
part of the challenges we get for face. We know for jobs then, you know, that if you read the New Direction Manifesto, we don't clearly state that, and the president will not talk in the parliament, we will have a Sierra Leonean first approach to jobs and opportunities. What's in that mean? If there are opportunities here, we want to make sure, say, Salone people then will qualify and they will give the first choice. But I know people then they bring all kind of people in for even do jobs there as shop boy work, very, very, very many jobs. So now the Ministry of Labor now the issue work permits and all that in there.
Right.
So these issues all go count at the table. Now very exciting times this.
So from Labor, I take you to the new ministry we get for be created as per the press release we see from State House, get for do with the Ministry of Environment.
Absolutely.
We already get the Environment Protection Agency by an act of parliament when they establish them and then we don't do them work. And other complementing agencies and safety where they do similar work like that one. Then now we don't see another Ministry of Environment now we're not a new one. Why Ministry of Environment when we already get the other established body then for the same work?
You know, I don't hear this question. I don't need talk about that. I did talk about that again. You know, let's set the context. Now I can play that in a jingle. Salone na the third most vulnerable country to environmental disasters after Bangladesh and other country. I don't listen to that 1 million times, right? So, what they say EPA they do very well, right? If I heard it right from you.
No, I not say they do very well. Okay, I say we be on the work.
We be on the work. Okay, yeah. You said the picky word there, like me. So the EPA don't they? But been there where we get this monumental disaster of a landslide, the mudslide. You understand? We been get all landing. Every year we get flooding, right? So the EPA been there. So what better justification you need for say, okay, yes, we know them they work, but we need for ensure say we get more effective environmental management, particularly because A, this is not the third most vulnerable country to environmental disasters. B, we don't see, not a Hollywood movie, we don't see this one. When motor may happen, for example, we lost over thousands of compatriots, may their souls rest in peace, right? What don't they happen? Every year would get flooding around the city and other parts of the country. If not to say, we don't introduce this compulsory Saturday cleaning every month, you know, the disaster would have been more incalculable. So, we now get a situation where environmental issues, they are the fore and center of everything what the world they do. This year at the UN said a specific day was designated for discussing the environment. The president make a very, very somber statement. He talked the commitments and what Salone will do for address environmental disasters. So the Ministry of Environment could not have come at a better time. You know, it's always good for be proactive because fire brigade approach na the cost to go count after all.
So now that will be done the practice fire brigade.
Fire brigade approach now done the practice 58 years on, yes.
All right, so
what did it happen? We can say may their souls rest in peace. We can you know, begin to search and rescue and recovery. We will even get better capacity for.
So, Mr. Minister, why the government not decide for strengthening the EPA and the other established body then instead gets a new ministry?
No, if you get, I don't know, most of them are on a management team. Something and the editorial board different from management team. When I can kind of editorial board, when I take editorial decisions, so when they talk about the next day, what they do. But now the management team, if not that same structure, when I get there, now I will talk about other level decisions and the one that they take. The EPA policy not go in a cabinet, right?
So what about the EBIND under the Ministry
well,
of
that
Lands
is where the
well?
catch is. You know the ministry of that ministry then call her Ministry of Lands, Country Planning, Ministry of Lands, Housing, Country Planning and the Environment. So you see the environment, the distance.
Yeah,
it's
but
almost an afterthought.
Minister, it gets overall minister.
Yeah, now they talk. So if you get too bumped up, something then they become peripheral. You understand? Environment so important, sir, it should be mainstreamed. It should be the issue because nine are the really critical issue.
Handle.
So now they make not to handle, no handle. Would they say the requisite attention, the right premium, the right focus, the right emphasis? Now for that make it a non-transformer. And this is a move that has been roundly commended at home and abroad, because they know that the president is not only talking about the environment when we go UN, he is also walking the talk.
All right, quickly, we just take this short commercial break. Mohamed Rahman Swari, Minister of Information and Communication. The program Good Morning Salone, they continue.
They causing confusion.
But this confuse me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in Wall Solid. Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen, me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind of magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and a one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want you concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
The program you listen to now, Good Morning Salone, we come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, and we will bring you this Monday edition of the program Good Morning Salone. Musa is Kamara na my name.
And Mabel Kaba.
We still get the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohammed Rahman Swari. We look at the cabinet reshuffle way President just do this BNTM. We don't look at the Ministry of Labor. We don't look at the Ministry of Environment, and self we don't look at the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. And one ministry self we been get impact now the Ministry of Agriculture. Mr. Minister, we look at the Ministry of Agriculture as government look at year 2020 as the year of agriculture, but when you look at the issue of food, challenge still the way people need to get better thing for it according to plenty people need to get better thing for it according to surveys them way they come out. These changes we the president don't do go create any impact to this sector?
Obviously, then this decision what the president don't take for realigning cabinet, not in vision. This was a realignment. If you like, not call and reshuffle self. The president has realigned his men and women to envision. Nothing they don't do, right? Basically, they don't bring in somebody with the kind of agriculture. First, with the president may deliver a first State of the Nation address. I've been talking say we need for stop this over reliance on the extractive industry. We're susceptible to all kinds of shocks around the world. Like when the iron ore price begin plummet, the country suffer. So they say we want for diversify agriculture, tourism, and the blue economy, the marine resources. Now then 3 things and the president may talk about. So agriculture now one thing and the way now part of the agenda of the president gets so that we will reduce importation of staple food, rice, and every Sierra Leonean go able to get something for it as long as we all do work for them. So this now make it don't bring in a career agriculturist. The person when in peak for that position on Dennis Vandy, the person will start in public service career in the Ministry of Agriculture, a rise to the pinnacle as a professional before he go into administration, right? He also can day back, he become permanent secretary. So you been the talk experience, you can't find a more experienced person past than if that's the peak. But I also know say na person we very tenacious, na person we want for succeed. Yeah. So a good way a can at this time we say 2020, na the year of agriculture, na that make it bring agriculture money, like it can work for fulfill His Excellency.
You talk about coming with agriculture money, the person we been the day before, and I no go like come with situation where go start put word name out. But then this person now one way go through parliament say yes he qualify for ensure say propel Salone to that height. They for ensure say we able to reach full sufficiency for 1 year down the line or less than that we see president can be a change them. What's in that assurance we you as Minister of Information and they give the people them say the people them with the president they appoint so now fit for the purpose and they able to deliver on the mandate?
By the way, how many people then change? The president not appoint beaucoup people them before now. Now few don't change. Yeah? So beaucoup of them fit for the for purpose. I'm not to say anybody who not date they not fit for purpose. I say the president they realigned the available manpower with a vision, right? Particularly as they go into the second year now. So that is what he's done, and I can guarantee you, say the person with the kind of agriculture, in a very very serious person way, well aligned with the president's vision, we will take on to the next level.
Reducing the burden on the wage bill and self for ensure say them block leakages. Now one pan the best lines them during the campaign time where the now presidents be the use at that time. And now we don't see it don't create new ministry, it don't give jobs to new people, deputy ministers, then we go for the ministers, if we go for come on board. Now if you look at waiting don't they happen, the country economy still they struggle for stand strong. And una self can attest to that for say the economy still a fit for stand strong, and now we don't see the new ministry they come we get for be more burden money get for come for poor on minister and deputy ministers them we don't come into the new cabinet, the cabinet of the president or reshuffle. Outside the money get for come out.
Okay, first I think so now responsibilities and don't give people they're not to jobs.
Deputy ministers and responsibilities.
No responsibility.
They don't go for the pay them.
No responsibility. You know, what make jobs na a lazy way than they
so they're not go for pay them?
You pay them. What make jobs You understand? This na
But
huge.
job na job.
Yeah, I understand. I want now something one for pick up. See, they don't call them to responsibility, right? I think so. We'll get a very exaggerated opinion of the money we get for cost. You know, normally on a normal day, you know, million backgrounds are common. May not be HR and OD person like I say. Where would they invest? You know, if you talk to an accountant, typically, na say una there. If then they train, then send una at the camp, maybe please. If then they send una training, yeah, then they give una per diem, una go lead on a hotel, this, that, then go say they don't look at the expenditure, then they treat it as expenditure. That's what accountant then they do. But my own background, who they say na investment. Because when they look at the cost benefit analysis from the medium to the long term, right? Where they invest in you, na so 98.1, you become better, you become more professional, you become more technical, you do know things, and sometimes you begin specializing in financial reporting or something else. So they talk about this, yeah? This is an investment for the good of Sierra Leone. For example, I talk about the environment. Most of these things, when properly done, it can even fund itself because there are a lot of development partner funding who will come for support that. And the environment ministry, for example, gets all the building blocks already. You get EPA there already, which will become...
So now the ministry...
No, it will become the implementing agency, for example, for the new ministry for environment. NPPA will be supervised by that same ministry. So really, you are not beginning from scratch.
So
the infrastructure already there.
So they suggest we don't even need the ministry because we already get EPA, because you don't come back to EPA.
No, well that means you don't need the Ministry of Finance because you get NRA. So there has to be an overarching policy and strategic guiding organization, which is what the ministry does, man. Two different things.
So the new responsibility, how you say we not for look at them as job where the president gives to people them. Does that
mean responsibilities?
So does that mean the government not the same as burden on the wage bill?
It is not the kind of budget.
Salaries wage for the go to them.
It is not the kind of burden that people see it as. Now that make I talk about cost benefit analysis. The benefits to the country, the efficiency gains, what they realize, for accentuate that one day more than the fantasy cost to people than they imagine. I don't tell you say already there's a framework here. Just like what they say, you already get the Environmental Protection Agency. You don't need new recruitment and they pass the new EPA head, executive director.
But the ministry they forget your staff them, no?
No, the minister already now them people and then your staff.
So the minister where they come.
No,
Ministry of Environment, Mr. 1 minute.
Okay.
Just to make this clear, the Ministry of Environment not forget their own working staff them.
You will have administrators, but now that make I say a very exaggerated. You are not starting from ground up. Right? You are not starting from ground up. You already get some of the main agencies. Then what did they? If you are forming a ministry for morbid anatomy today, right? Not only you go begin advertise. You want for look for morbid anatomy, but existing people then are administrators for the most part.
What's that right now?
So no, some of them then are the public service. If they bring permanent secretary, for example, then one they are in the public service
that's
already.
Not job, but not job still you give them.
No, these jobs already exist. The jobs already exist. You're not going to go recruit new permanent secretary. They are in service. So they bring one day now for become permanent secretary of the Ministry of the Environment. So not a new recruitment. Law no exaggerate.
So in terms of timeliness, now this salon people really they expect.
Well, now this is the need before the next disaster strikes. Now this we need. Yeah? Now this we need. We are
so
not
spending on. So how the government come into conclusion saying that this they need at this time?
How
on the wage bill?
How, say?
How una come into conclusion saying that this salon people need now?
Yeah, because we no want for preside over another mudslide. Yeah, the institutions where you talk, they all be needed, we able to prevent her. Even when it comes to reaction, right? We did not have any early warning signs, no nothing. We were literally caught pants down. So you now need a specific, dedicated and exclusive ministry for managing environmental affairs.
So, Mr. Minister, with this reshuffle, as you rightly mentioned, you see realignment to government programs. After this, don't be, and we then don't go through parliaments and don't start for work. What in the people for think or expect from this government?
This government not ever renege on commitments for make life better for citizens. I mean, that's a fundamental manifesto commitment. As president, the president don't reiterate them. Say will make life better for the average Sierra Leonean. Now that make in this budget, this is a bread and butter budget. May go add the people's bread and butter budget. For example, we are creating 3,000 new jobs around the beach area for urban youth, in the western area, as beachcombers, as guards, as what have you, right? The beach now one of we major assets. You remember where President in the address the nation, they talk say they diversify the economy. Tourism are one of them place in the way is zoom in on. So one for take on to the next level. Already we don't become a visa on arrival country. Already in this same budget, we don't remove GST on all travel air travel related matters because we want to make Sierra Leone an ideal tourist destination. So in the process, young people are going to have jobs to look after themselves, to provide bread and butter for themselves and their families.
So I think
that is very important. When you come here, you also talk about the biggest and most ambitious national microcredit scheme in the country. Yeah, we get something like 100 million being targeted for the next 3 years by 2022. Next year, we'll begin with 20 million for target young men and women. 70% of the initial target will be women because women they go through very difficult and grueling times. Right, 30% will be young men. They talk about the youth in agriculture, youth and security sector, people in agriculture. So all things are carefully laid down for make sure so people then get jobs and address them bread and butter issue. So this is a pro-people budget. It's a very people-sensitive budget.
We go find time for look at the budget, but still on the reshuffle where the president do, we see the minister we been the the Ministry of Labour they now they go as ambassador.
Yeah.
So their embassy then they safe as well. Waiting they go get for bring come where you say this one will not foresee them as burden on the wage bill.
Already, you know, where you get a Sierra Leonean, AIJ Kelly or Kylie, and they lead African Union troops them in the police, Amazon or something. Na Somalia, na they lead them, right? This one, all Nigeria, all big country then did it. It takes a serious leadership for able to do that then we are achieving that. And the Adekunle that I know, when he stands there, now the AU, you know, President Bill is chairperson, African AU chairperson on the reform of the Security Council, right? C10. So Adekunle, we, get the adequate what it takes for able to articulate the vision of the president, for able to lobby for Sierra Leone to the best of inability. Because I know him. He's no pushover among peers and colleagues. He will stand tall. He's a towering figure. So this country will benefit enormously.
So what about the embassy for Turkey?
The embassy for Turkey? This is not interesting.
Because now a new one.
I think say we need for tell people than this. Turkey, now one of them windows, the shining windows in the world right now. All man know this. The electricity what they get, now Turkish power ship, car power, now in the supply. So part of my argument is that if we had a diplomatic representation, if we don't even make a government to government, we could have had a better deal with the Turkish ship. So if we want to get embassy there, we already get a lot of opportunities there. I don't know if anyone of them don't benefit from 98, but Boku Sierra Leonean students don't get opportunity for get Turkish scholarship for go do short, medium, and long-term training and skills transfer process there. So we are saying investing in an embassy in Turkey, it will bring clear, serious executive outcomes. It will open wide doors of opportunities and a floodgate of chances for Sierra Leone for benefit.
So now new people them go get for good in at the embassy,
some of them already
and go get for employed.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is the point.
So now they employ them.
No, I'm not saying they employ them. The employees will be very small number. You know the normal diplomatic staff. How many people would they talk about? Not below 30. 98.1 get more staff than all diplomatic. Each and every one of the diplomatic missions abroad. So this is
let me just leave 98.1 out of this. So now, Mr. Minister, with all of this, where you see one thing where this government within pass on have been the front at during those days, now being get for do with the pressure on the wage bill, the economy where the president say when it come now one of the worst way Salone ever get to inherit. Now we they see all the new establishments here, get for get employment to more people them. Talking about finance. Waiting the government really take in terms of consideration financing certain areas them now this not on a priority at this time where you look at the economy the wage bill will be already get pressure and on I don't add to them.
Okay, let read this statement for greater clarity. Let I understand when I play something just now but family and they want to privilege for listen. Let read this one. I not got glasses but I go.
This now on waiting.
This now the question we make. I want for preface with this one. That I can go in depth. Yeah. If you get the budget, you read page 33. 174 wages and salaries. The government wage bill is projected to increase to 3.17 trillion in 2020 from 2.59 trillion in 2019. The increase of 586.6 billion will cover the wage bills of the universities and colleges, bringing into the payroll 5,000 teachers, 3,000 health workers, and 1,000 police officers in 2020. I am sure una know say the university not be part of the government payroll. What in government may they do na subvention may they give them. We don't discover over the years say when they receive that subvention, instead of prioritizing lecturers and salaries, they prefer to pay contractors for whatever reasons. So you find out so we don't get a preponderance of strike actions there across the university of higher education across the country. So now that make we say, look, we have to stop these strike actions, bring them to the payroll, they get paid as any other public servant on time. So we are dealing with that problem of strike action. So we are bringing all of them onto the payroll. That are one of the reasons why the payroll bloated. You don't say when they bring 5,000 new teachers on board. With schools and you get structures, and so school they don't get teacher. Now volunteer teachers they don't get for the last 11 years. Yeah, of course we know that one day now. This is an open secret. They say with an ambitious free quality education program, you need to get teachers there, not only teachers there, but well motivated teachers. Now that make we don't increase teacher salary by 30%. We did in the first inning, the supplementary budget will be increasing the salary by 10%, the one who the grade 6 below, 5%, the one who the grade 6 above. We'll repeat that one again in 2019. So now it's about 20. So what will they say? You are bringing teachers onto the payroll who were never there before, 5,000. Except if we say we not pay teachers.
Like I've been saying no more, we go get for look at the budget.
So people woman go born hospital.
Mr. Minister, like I've been saying, we go get for a day for look at the budget.
I want to take you back. You say the payroll bloated. So this is why it is bloated. If we agree, say we not for take 5,000 new teachers. Let them remain volunteer till they die.
We go friend them look at all of that.
The people that only labor them, nurse, the NEPA, Ebola, let not bring them, let them not go serve and then clinic them for help Bella woman and for born and this that.
All right, I want to take you back to the establishment of the embassy in Turkey. You earlier talked about the car partnership and self the scholarship where some Salone people get for go study there. But that's enough for go create a whole embassy because of agreements we already they go on the car partnership and scholarships?
Oh no, Mabel, no, get me wrong. I say if we had an embassy there, we could probably have had a better deal. I know what the embassies are able to do.
So now that trigger the establishment of the embassy.
Talking in the New World Order, a very important and key player. Now the New World Order. So they say as a country, we serve like other people for able benefit. You know, this country, we go for a look at the strategic interests of our country. People then they talk about cost, they know they do the benefit. You know, look, right now they spend billions and billions on the education of Upikine. That is a lot of cost. If I don't just say, hey, but go create jobs with her, but you are investing in the next generation of leaders, you want to know what they succeed with. Right? So we know they say as expenditure on education. It's investment in education. Just like what I've been talking about, I've been distinguished between investment and expenditure. So now the same thing we get now. This is an investment where this country go for benefit from enormously.
All right, let me just quickly look at messages where people don't send. We still get the Minister of Information and Communication at the studio. Musa?
Yes, the very first one, they say, Mr. Minister, are we expecting more cabinet reshuffle in this month?
All right, this other one says, Mr. Minister, I can remember that the BO manifesto, he promised the people of this nation that he will block more leakages, but I think he's opening more drainages in opening more ministries, departments and agencies. Don't you think that he's making things more difficult in the country if you take a look at the present economic situation?
This one from Stefan during now with Facebook, they say, can you provide infrastructure to help young people to do business?
All right, this other one, they say, Mr. Minister, how do you assess the performance of the ministers that are not in the cabinet anymore?
This one say, why do we have 2 deputy ministers in the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry?
All right, this other one will go be my final one for this morning. The person say, Mr. Minister, please comment on the issue of women representation in the new cabinet.
This one say, the cabinet reshuffle is very timely, at least 30% women inclusion in the new cabinet to allow gender equality from Mark 10 and England.
All right, from the message and they will come over to the minister. We not get too much time at the studio, but you will get time for response to them comments in there.
Somebody asked if we expect more cabinet reshuffle. That's a presidential prerogative. I'm not sabedandi. If it happen, if I did it, I will come back and I. Because, you know, cabinet ministers are a very endangered species, right? You serve at the will and pleasure of His Excellency, you know. So, blocking leakages and addressing them, you know. This country, I know what we need as a country now for elevate the discourse beyond small talking. We need for elevate the discourse. And I know Sierra Leoneans and bright, the intelligent, you know. Once we remove the blinkers then from where we begin to see the real elephants in the room. We begin to see issues for what they are. They say all this reshuffle now ensure efficiency gains. For example, we don't talk about 2 deputy ministers. We don't talk about an additional deputy minister in the Ministry of Finance. An additional deputy minister. What that does is for ensure that this country able to enjoy efficiency gains. And this is not the first time it's happening. Under the late former President Kaba, you had 2 deputy ministers, one for expenditure, one for revenue. This is to ensure that they zero in, they focus and emphasize, they watch out in the specific areas. But when maybe in a village school, for example, so I go primary school. Now one teacher they teach you from class 1 to class 7. It's also why I come secondary school, I begin to see now somebody they can't teach me separate subject. It's strange for me. Yeah? But that is what brings efficiency about. You know what's the whole thing? You know?
So what in the area of agriculture?
The area of agriculture, not the same explanation.
So what about the woman the own issue?
The woman the own issue. Well, President Bion are possibly very committed to women. This is not the only leading presidential flag bearer in the 58-year history of a country who ever choose a woman for being running mate. Dr. Kadis say in 2012. You remember that? We put her out, now one of the most illustrious and accomplished. Now
we look at the reshuffle.
No. I talk about her. I have to set a context.
Yeah, but now the reshuffle we want to focus on. We're not going to get time again.
We not can get intro before we talk on a main news story.
No, we look at.
So in 2012 he did that. They bring an illustrious Sierra Leonean woman on the ticket, right? If we had won those elections, if I don't be vice president, nobody has.
No, 2018 we been get somebody again. We get woman as running mate. So now we go to the cabinet reshuffle.
I saw a major political party that had a chance of winning an election. I need to talk about any other political party. Let's get serious.
So let me just use this small time we get for talk on the reshuffle and the woman.
Well, first,
now one
law agree say President Bill not sack a no reshuffle woman, right? Because we get the right timber and caliber of women in cabinet. Instead, they add one more woman. This is still work in progress. President Bill believes in women. Now the only president is who don't come. They don't pass the most stringent laws against rape, against violence against women, and other things. So women's representation is work in progress. We will continue to improve it. It's still in the cabinet. We will continue to improve it. It's work in progress. We agree. The president is very committed to women. Now that make even part of the national microcredit scheme we will talk. The 20 billion owed in the beginning next year, 70% of the beneficiaries will be women. Now the same president don't say any woman who do science, technology, engineering, mathematics na university na free.
Alright, well we not get time again at the studio, Mr. Minister. But before you go, let me just use this opportunity again. We get colleagues them at the media, we don't expect their own list. We not see them come out yet. For the one they forgot press attach them, waiting at the latest on this.
Also, all your list been the come out, not the wrong commentary on the radio. They go come out there, we can out.
But now your list come out.
It is work in progress.
How soon?
Very soon.
Alright, thanks so much for being in the program this morning. Mohamed Rahman Soare, Minister of Information and Communication. Even there this morning, they tell me about the latest reshuffle way the president do in cabinet. Also, we see well,
so now the minister who is going to do something for you, that even ministers who have come to government.
Well, we're not going to need for congratulate you. You just do your work, then the people and then go talk whether or not you do well. You work for salon people and then go congratulate you.
So you have to be in the end with the list.
No, not the end. I know I give my all to my job. I mean, you know, there are other ways you can still serve Sierra if you are not minister. I was not minister before. I contributed. I served.
So then a message they sent to that one who not able for serve as minister?
No. You know, I had a contribution. I've been a contributor to Salone before I became a minister.
Okay.
Yeah? I was picked to serve. I am doing my very best. Post-ministerial life, I will continue to serve Sierra Leone. I mean, that's it. We serve at the will and pleasure of His Excellency.
All right. Many thanks to you, Mohamed Rahman Swari, Minister
Thank
of
you.
Information and Communication. And this edition of the program, Good Morning Salone, Golefona plenty thank you to the production team. Alex Lawrence Kroma and Michael Sambola will produce the program. DJ Lava will give it technical support. Moses Kavura and in team self we make on us live now. Facebook. So till we meet again, maybe Kabade say get yourself a wonderful day, but continue for listening to Radio Democracy as we get more programs them in line for you. Musa, today na holiday.
Yes, today na Maulud Nabi, and I want for dedicate them to all Muslims. All Muslims in our salon and around the world. And so till next time, Musa Eskamadi say bye bye.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
Radio Democracy, supported by Asiwa and powered by Africell.
For news, views, and entertainment, stay tuned to